Hi, my name is Ryen Watkins. I'm an American University graduate student, and I'm here interviewing Vargas for a feature story for my audio production class.
Yeah. So I grew up West Baltimore, um, lived on Lexington Street, raised, in my early childhood, raised in Lexington Terrace, and then um, spent the rest of my 24 years on, in West Baltimore. But I think music started, like I have a song called Fit Out, and I say, it started with some tapes and a melody. Then I was on the ones and twos regularly. So it's, music started with me just kind of like having an interest to play drums. And so I didn't have drums, so I grabbed encyclopedias. We had some encyclopedias in the house. And I made them like a set of drums on the table. So I had like my snare drum, my toms, my other. And I don't even know if I had two drumsticks, but I would put the tape on and listen and try to mimic what I was hearing, beat wise in the music. And so I would play and use the wall for a cymbal, use the table for a hi-hat, all these dents in the books and everything. So eventually, my father was like, we gotta get him some drums. So, yeah. So that's where it started. Okay. And then it went from there to taking keyboard classes and DJing. And, when I DJ'd, I was kind of like in high school, DJing a lot of parties, after parties, clubs and stuff like that, making tapes, making a lot of money off tapes. I just would shout people out, and that's how I would be able to sell the tapes. And so that's where really it all developed me to be a great producer as well as an artist. Yeah.
Okay, so back to the drums. What sparked that interest? Did you see somebody that you looked up to, or you wanted to be like someone?
Yeah, somebody asked me that. I think probably, and the only thing I could connect it with is maybe because I saw my uncle playing drums, but it wasn't like I was like, oh man, I want to be a drummer. It just developed naturally, and my father, he was more so like, man, won't you try to play the piano? And I was like, I want to play the piano, I want to play the drums. And back then it was like playing the piano wasn't really cool. It was like, yo, you playing, but the drums was the beat, the rhythm. You was more of a b-boy, you know what I'm saying? So I think the drums just really kind of put that real rhythm into me.
Okay, so outside of being a producer and a musician, you do write?
Yeah.
You write your own music?
Yeah, I write my own music. I co-write with other artists as well, singing artists. I like to work with singing artists. I think sometimes people think because you do hip hop that's what your world is, but I love classical music, I love pop music, urban R&B, you know what I'm saying? I love Christian music. I love old music like Ella Fitzgerald and, Satchmo, you know what I'm saying? Louis Armstrong. I listen to that type of music. I think I'm very well diverse, and it gives me an opportunity to be able to display those things when I'm working or writing or something like that with another artist.
So I also read that you are a motivational speaker. You speak at colleges.
So I don't want to say motivational speaker, but I am motivational, and I do speak when I get a chance to speak. So I'm always trying to encourage people and encourage the next generation, the young people, how to be better, how to do better, how to live better. And I think, that's really my whole goal with, I don't know if you saw my hashtag #better, but that's what that really means. It's not necessarily saying I'm better than you or him or her, but it's just that I'm saying I'm better than any situation or circumstance to try to pull us down or pull us away from being the great people that we were destined to be. And so, I gotta tell myself, look myself in the mirror and tell myself every day, I'm better. I'm better than anything that try to hold me back. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, and along with that, you also an advocate for justice as
Absolutely.
well. So how do you think your childhood and growing up in West Baltimore kind of motivated you to be an advocate for justice?
A lot. Just being, for one, being overlooked you know, being the one who probably like, because I'm a middle child first, so I think it kind of started like growing up in the home where it was like, you know, my older brother, he get everything first. My younger brother was the baby.
Right.
So it was like he was the spoiled one.
Yeah.
And me, I was like, oh yeah, that's we got middle sons away. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you know, and that's how I feel sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. But I think it started with that for me to be able to advocate for people who felt like they didn't have a voice. You know, and me, because of that, growing up as a middle child, like I didn't always express myself as much as I would have liked. You know, so now I'm in a place where, you know, if I see something wrong or see something in a different light, you know, I try to speak up about it. And I use my music to speak up about it too, you know, as much as I can, because a buddy of mine said this. He said, nobody never say nothing. That's why most of us dying. And it's true, because you could see your neighborhood, your friends, you know, people just, your family, people just going down the wrong path so much. And, you know, we'll talk amongst each other, but we won't speak out boldly, say, look, man, like that's not the way to go. So, you know, I try to do that through my music as well. And then, like I said, advocate for people who don't have a voice.
Okay, so you say you do it through your music. Like, what are some examples? What kind of stories do you put in your music?
So, like, I have a song called Red Lips. And Red Lips was a song basically to, again, advocate for people who've been through either domestic violence, or people who've been through sexual assault, molestation, abuse. And this was because growing up, I have who've been through some things like that. And so I watched their world get basically shaken upside down, and watch them grow. And I think back and I look and I say, man, like, if they never went through those things, I wonder how their life would be. But because they went through those things, and then people I know, friends and, you know, other people I know who went through those things, like, your past affects your present so much. I wanted to do a song about it for a long time. I just didn't have like the title, and I didn't know how to approach it. And then I saw a campaign that they had called Red My Lips, which basically, you know, women all across the world took a day where they took a picture, they put red lipstick on, and they hashtag Red My Lips, and they were saying they were standing up, you know, with courage for people who couldn't, or standing up because they've been through something like that. And I was like, wow, that's it. And so instead of calling the song Red My Lips, I said Red Lips. And basically I just, you know, just took it from there, and it just thought about all the stuff that I saw either growing up or friends that been through that situation.
Most of your music has inspiring and impactful stories behind the creation of the song. So being a Baltimore artist, why did you choose to do that, as far as that was the type of music you wanted to produce, rather than
just any old
struggle or trap music, or you know, the most majority of the Baltimore artists today are producing?
I think it's because I really like content in music.
Okay.
Like, content is very important to me, and to have some type of substance, I think that's great, you know, and that always stand out. And I think that lasts, like, you know, you could dance at a party and dance to whatever. I remember growing up and we coming from a party or we coming from the club, and the music that we heard in the club, we didn't listen to when we was in the car riding home or something like that. It was more so music that it was different. So I always felt like, hey, I'd rather be the person that you put on after you jump up and down and you turn up and this and that. Like, I want to be somebody who could say, hey, you know, yeah, but his stuff, it really speak in this way or that way, or connect with me in this way or that way. And then, you know, I could save the dancing for later. And there's nothing against that in artists who do that, because I used to DJ and I still can DJ, and I love to have those type of records. And even when I'm writing with like a singer or something like that, I like to write those type of records too. Mm-hmm. But for myself, you know, not as much, you know, because I don't know why, but, you know, I don't know if that was a great answer.
It was a great answer. As far as your music, what inspires you besides your past what else? Like, what keeps you going? What artist even inspires you?
I think knowing that we deserve to see, have, and be, better. Like, if it's something that I'm looking for in the industry and I'm not seeing it as much or not getting it, then I have to ask myself the question, well, why not me? So I think that helps to inspire me. If it's something that I want to hear artists talk about, if it's something that I want to see done or implemented and I'm not seeing it, I have to say, why not me? And if I don't have a good answer, then I just, and say, hey, I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk about it. And then also, my relationship with God, inspires me tremendously, because this independent, artist life is not the easiest. I don't want to say independent artist life, just artist life in general, because we bear a lot of creativity, and just us being artists, like we're creative beings, and because he's our creator, like we have to be able to have some sort of two-way relationship, because we always, the same way we pour out, we got to be poured back into. And so my relationship with him inspires me a lot, because I pour out a lot.
Red for that girl who rising up from being dead. Paint the lips red.